I'm Veronique. I'm Lewis's wife. So we just wanted to say thank you so much for supporting us tonight. We know that you guys could be anywhere on a Friday night, but you decided to be here. So we just want to say thank you. Okay. Stop bossing me around. Anyways, I'm going to bring up our two hosts. First, we have Ron Woods, a real estate king. He's been in real estate for the past 8 years, has done over 300 real estate deals. He's a family man of 4 kids. He's a very humble man. We're just so thankful to be a part of his team and his friend. So everybody welcome Ron Woods. Even with the broken leg, he showed up tonight. So next is my husband, Lewis Now. You guys might know him from e-commerce, but he's been in networking. He's a coach for many people. He's a great husband with our 3 kids. And welcome, Lewis. Okay. Next we have Bobby. He, in the past 2.5 years, has opened 3 barbershops. He cuts celebrity hair, and it has been creating the coolest, hippest, family-oriented barbershops here in Vegas. He is a family man working alongside his amazing wife, Juliet. Has 6 kids, and they've been doing this for the past 3 years, and he's such a very humble person. We're just so happy to have Bobby. Next, we have Vlad, 23 years old, on track to making $500,000 this year. When it comes to real estate, this is the guy you guys need to talk to. We are so thankful for having the opportunity to have him here tonight, so please welcome Vlad. Next, we have Jane. People know her as the Brow Savior. In only 2 years, she has built her business to a success sensation. She now has over 200 students and is published in magazines and works with many celebrities. Thank you, Jane, for being here. So now I'm going to pass the mic to the host and enjoy the time.
Thank you guys. Man, we've been talking about doing this event for a while, so we got a great lineup for you guys. At the end, we're gonna do a Q&A, so any of you guys can ask any questions that you want. Everyone's really open. So don't hold back. You guys are here to learn. Ask any questions that you guys want.
Yeah, thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate you guys. I was afraid you guys can be on CNLs or do whatever you want, right? But I appreciate you guys for being here. Can you hear me? Or no? Is it better? Oh, okay. Now what?
What? So, introduction. Yes, my name is Vlad. 23 him? Probably the last area. Can you guys hear me? Like this? Better? A little bit? Is this one better? Yeah. All right, now we're talking. Okay, so my name's Vlad. Like they introduced me. 23 years old. I flip wholesale here in Vegas. So we focus on, HGTV stuff that you guys see. Flipping a house. That's kind of what we do. Not as glamorous. Don't get it twisted. But I've been doing it for about 3 years. Started off, doing one to 2 deals at a time. Now we're scaling to about 6 to 7 flips at any given time. So glad to be here. Answer any questions that you guys have, and looking forward to chatting with you guys after.
Check. Better? A little better?
Oh, huh?
So Vlad, man, so 23 years old. So I heard you got started at 19?
19, yeah.
I heard a story about how you got started when you see that's true. Did you sneak into an event?
I did. I was 19 years old. I wanted to get it started in real estate, and they were having an event at a bar, and I obviously 19 can't really get into a bar, but somehow I was able to get sneak my way in there, and wanted to talk to some heavy hitters. I think that event was probably one of the most packed events when it came to just the heavy hitters in Vegas. For some reason, everybody was out there, so I was able to talk to a lot of different guys. And they were like, "Man, how the hell are you even in here? Like, how old are you? You're telling me you're 19? This is a bar. Well, why are you even in here?" But that's how I ended up getting started. I kind of opened my eyes to flipping, and I was like, "All right, this is really cool. Let's see where this can go."
Yeah, and so what did you do after you got that knowledge? Did you hire coaching? Did you go off on your own? Like, how did you get started?
Yeah, so as soon as I, essentially got that knowledge of, hey, this is what you should be doing, the next day I started doing it. So next day I was door knocking houses in the rougher part of Vegas, asking them, hey, I work with a group of investors. Are you guys looking to sell your house? We buy and renovate homes. We'd be interested in buying the cash. And I was doing that for every single day after that until I was able to get my first deal. And then I was like, yeah, I got to work a little smarter than this. It's freaking hot in Vegas. So that was how I ended up getting started right after that.
Okay, so you started door knocking, and then did you start doing other marketing or?
Yeah, so I started off just door knocking, going right direct to seller. I'm sure if you 19-year-old kid knocking on your door telling you I'm gonna buy your house, you're probably like, get out of here. And then afterwards, I started doing more, other marketing, started doing some mailers, cold calling, texting, we're doing some Google ads, a bunch of different stuff now, obviously. But at that time, that was how I initially, really just bootstrapped into it. Zero marketing dollars, just straight up hustle. I was going to school at UNLV at the time. So I'd go to class, finish my 3 classes for the day, and then I would go out door knocking. So I would go door knocking, and then I'd go to work after that.
Awesome, man. So it's not, I don't think it's common for someone like your age to be doing as well as you are, man. What's the, are there any tips or secrets you can give to somebody that's looking to get into it?
Yeah, I think just failing forward. I always preach. I always keep saying it, but I think a lot of people try to figure things out. Hey, I've got to have everything dialed in, and then I'm going to start. But you need to just go and figure it out. When I started door knocking, I went to this event. I got this knowledge, but I didn't learn anything at this bar. It just got my brain going. And whenever I went and I got my first essentially house that the seller was willing to sell, I didn't even know how to sign the contract. So I had to bring in another guy, Ryan Pineda, whoever knows him. That guy ended up going with me and was like, all right, let's partner up. I'll help you. I'll show you how to do it. But the reason I'll show you is because I see you doing this thing on your own and you're hustling, and people will help you if you want to be helped and you're actually a hustler. That's one thing I've learned as well. I guess that's another good piece of advice. If you're doing something and other people see you trying to prosper and move up, they're going to be like, man, I'm really going to help this young fella out, because he's not just asking me or expecting things of me. He's actually hustling, and I'm gonna provide a little helping hand to him because I see a lot of myself in him. So I think that's a great tip for anybody that's young, looking to break into whatever field you want to break into.
All right, just a little bit of context. You hear? I'm yelling. Just a little bit of context. Vlad, you market to distressed sellers, people who are you're not trying to buy expensive houses that look beautiful. You're looking for the people who are probably most likely to sell them.
Correct. I mean, our typical demographic of like a seller that we work with will be, you know, somebody that wants to either sell quick, sell, you know, a property that needs a lot of disrepair. It's not going to be your typical like, hey, you know, it's impossible to flip a house that's in really good shape and, you know, you've got to buy it at a good enough margin where it makes sense to flip it. But with a good enough margin comes solving people's problems. That's the biggest thing. So these people they have an issue they need it solved. We come and solve it, and in return, we're able to essentially make money by renovating and then reselling these houses. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis.
And so what does your team look like when you first started, and what does it look like right now?
So my first year, I started off like officially broke off from my job in March of 2020. So March of 2020 to the end of the year, I did about 9 deals between wholesales and flips, and just by myself. And then the following year, we did 17 deals. Last year, we did 22. And then this year, we're on pace for about 45 to 50. And this is the first year that I've got other guys in-house. Everything else was virtual assistants before, doing, you know, marketing, usually outsourced, you know, in other countries. And now I've got a couple guys that are in-house, you know, actually helping out with acquisitions. I know a few people here have said, you know, my acquisitions guys are like reaching out to you, so that's pretty funny. You know, I guess they deserve a raise. But yeah, I mean, we have a really small team. It's me and 2 other guys. They're each under 24 years old, so we've got a very young team. And you know, I'm always open to, you know, the reason I wanted to do this event. You know, I'm always open to other young hustlers. So if you're in this room, you're a young hustler, you know, you want to get your foot in the door, you know, come hustle. You know, show me you're a hustler, and, you know, let's go get some deals.
I bought a house from you.
You did buy a house from me.
I bought a house from you, and what was interesting is I saw your brother there. I think your dad was there, and it seemed really cool that you had like this family type business. Are they involved in your business now?
Absolutely. My dad is my project manager on a day-to-day basis. So every single flip that we do, my dad manages all of the contractors. I manage partially as well, but he's out in the field managing these guys. My brother is a high schooler. My brother is 17. He wanted a summer job, and he was like, hey, I want a summer job. And I was like, well, I mean, you could go wash cars at, you know, Fabulous Freddy's, or you can come do acquisitions at a real estate company. What sounds better? He was like, yeah, I think that, you know, real estate company sound, you know, that sounds good. Let's do it. So he worked with me for a summer. He got 2 deals of his own. He's 17. He was talking to sellers, and you know, I don't know if he's going to end up doing real estate, but I'm just showing him what's kind of possible when you put your mind to something. You can, you know, accomplish it. So I was like, you know, I like to keep it involved. My girlfriend is my listing agent. You know, she was doing a little bit different stuff. Like, she was working on a team. I was like, man, forget that team. Come work with me. You know, come list all of our houses. We'll get your rep up. You know, you'll get more deals off of that as well. It'll be a win-win. So she's doing that with us now. So I try to involve everybody around me that is like my core people. You know, I'd rather them get paid before anybody else, and, you know, that's the reason I, you know, try to kind of get everybody involved, try to take care of everybody.
Awesome. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Vlad?
No questions, I'll pass it to the mic. Go.
You guys have any questions for Vlad? Going once, twice.
Hey, I got a question. Man, so what kind of money did you start with, you know, when you started, like, very start, like when you're knocking on doors, stuff like that?
Yeah. So I started off with $300. I started off with $300. I was going to school. I was working, you know, $15 an hour job, and so I realized that, hey, estate, I can't beat these other guys out. There's a lot of guys in this room that spend anywhere between $20,000 to $50,000 a month in marketing to get these deals that we all chase. So I was like, there's absolutely zero way that I'm gonna beat these guys out with $300. So I've got to go out and I've got to, door knock, which is essentially like the lowest at the totem pole that you can get. Like you're just by yourself out there, but it takes zero money. All it is hustle. So I was like, I'm gonna hustle because I don't have freaking money. And then once I get a couple deals, hopefully we can build up to the point that, we can start spending some money and start, rivaling some of these big guys. So to answer your question, my thought process in the beginning, I started off with $300 is I'm gonna try to get deals for free, and that's what I ended up doing for my first couple.
How does it work actually getting a deal for free? Can you explain that process?
Yeah, sure. So when you're looking to purchase properties off market, distressed seller properties, you've essentially got to find the needle in the haystack. From maybe 1,000 sellers, maybe you'll get one seller that is willing to sell at a discount. And that's because they have a house that is in disrepair. Maybe somebody passed away and they inherited a property and they're now paying a mortgage that they can't afford for their grandfather's house or whatever it may be. So in order to find those sellers, you've got to market a lot. And so what a lot of people do, they spend a ton of money on calling, texting, doing Google ads. But what you could also do is you could go and hustle. If you know that these 5 houses are inherited, you can spend all the money in the world trying to call them and text them and mail them, or you can get in your car, drive 40 minutes over there and go try to get face to face with the seller and try to convince them that, hey, I'm the buyer, I'm gonna close on this thing. And that's the way you would do it for free. I mean, I guess you would pay, gas money and your time, if you want to count that. But that's the way I started off, where I was like, hey, I don't have the money to be marketing and texting, calling, mailing, doing all this. But instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend my own personal time, go out there and try to find these, properties that can be flipped and flip them. So that's the answer.
Yo, Vlad, where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years?
3 to 5 years. Just on the business side, I mean, I've always, from the very moment I started, I was like, I really want to be one of the top guys in Vegas when it comes to flipping houses. I know a lot of guys push the 100 number where they're doing 100 a year. I think just a rough from the business standpoint, I'd love to be doing 100 flips a year, 100 deals a year here in Vegas. And then, personal side, I've bought my first rental actually this year, which is pretty cool. I bought it a couple months ago, so within the next couple of years, I'd love to have, within the next 5 years, I'd love to have 100 doors. That's my, flipping is nice, but I'd love to have 100 doors that I can keep and rent out and, build wealth. Because I'm 23, if I get a 30-year mortgage right now, by the time I'm 53, they should be paid off. So I've got to get as many as I can right now, and we'll see where it goes from here.
Is real estate the best investment model?
Is what?
The best investment model?
Is real estate? Absolutely. I know a lot of guys. I know a lot of people. There's a ton of different investments. I invested in the crypto. I freaking lost my ass on crypto. I did terrible. For real estate, at the end of the day, there's a ton of tax benefits with real estate. There's a ton of appreciation with real estate. I think it's the superior investment model when it comes to just, investing, period. So I agree with you 100%. I already know how you feel as well. I'm pretty sure you'll back me up on that.
100%.
One more question? Yeah, here you go. Yeah, with the economy going, the way it's going right now and stuff, has that affected your guys' workflow at all, or do you feel like it doesn't really affect you at all?
Yeah. So his question was with the economy, how it's been, has it affected our workflow? Definitely. Towards the end of last year, we were very slowing down a lot, simply because if you followed the market, interest rates went from low 3% to 7-8%, and obviously that dampens the buying power of of your buyers. So me as a flipper, obviously my end buyers can afford much less house at a 7% rate than they can at a 3% rate, meaning prices have to go down, and that caused our business to slow down a lot. But kind of crazy, the market's rebounding a lot right now. So I think right now, moving into the summer, these next 3 months are absolutely game changer. I think we're on the up and up for the next while. So we'll see where we go from here. But right now, it's rebounding very well.
Any more questions, guys, for Vlad? No? No more questions?
Well, one final thing, I love meeting all types of different people. The reason I came to this event, wanted to speak here, I want to meet as many people in real estate, outside of real estate as possible. So if you guys want to chop it up after, please come up. Grab my Instagram, DM me after. Anything I can do for you guys, any real estate questions I can answer, let me know. And appreciate you guys, all being here. So thank you.
That was good, bro. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
All right, next speaker, we got my boy Bobby. So if you guys don't know Bobby has scaled to like 3 barbershops in less than 2 years while raising, how many kids, bro? 10? I'm kidding, 6. 6 kids. This guy is a celebrity barber for the Raiders, actors, actresses here in Vegas. So you guys are in for a treat. This guy's a big time player in Vegas. So yeah, can we give Bobby a clap, please? All right. Yes, let's go. All right. So my first question for you, Bobby, bro, is that how did you get started?
Well, basically, born and raised in San Diego, been out in Vegas for Hey, San Diego? Let's go. 6'9"? Okay. Been out here going on 12 years now. Right when we moved out here, I jumped into timeshare industry. Good money, but very up and down, right? Depending on the tourists and things of that nature. So I wanted something a little more predictable income. So I stepped into the barbering industry just because I can create my own time and, schedule. So 2017 started barber school, 2018 got licensed, and then a little under 2 years we were able to open up our third shop a month and a half ago.
Awesome, bro. So second question is, how did you scale to 3 barbershops in 2 years? I mean, that's major, bro. Like 3 barbershops is a big investment in the front, correct? And for you to be able to get your clientele, take a major risk, 3 barbershops in 2 years. So can you give the audience, strategies of how you were able to achieve that?
Just took big risks. We opened up our first shop in 2020, actually. Well, in 2020, when everything was shut down, all the barbers were actually shut down. So I was one of the few barbers who were still cutting from my garage. Lewis and Hamlet and Johnny and Mo and a handful of our clients here. I was cutting them literally in my garage. And I had all kinds of barber chairs and barber equipment in my garage. I had no idea where I was gonna put all this equipment because I didn't have the space yet. But at the end of 2020, I happened to get boba over at Number One Boba on the first location, Silverado and Southeastern, and I called the real estate agent, and she was shocked. She was like, "You want to open up a business right now? This is 2020. Everything's shut down. You want to open up?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, because haircuts are not going anywhere. Hair grows every day, and there's still a ton of essential workers, and so we're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. You can't buy a haircut online." So that's basically how it started.
Love that, bro.
So, how do you even open a barber shop? I know you have to have skills, but what are the steps? Finding a location, are there loans? How does that work?
That's a bank right there, just a bank.
That's the wifey, by the way. Say hi to Juliet for me. That's the wifey. First of all, that's a secret right there. You gotta have a strong woman behind you, pushing you every day. And oh, babe, she wants you to come up. Yeah, she's tough. But your question, what was your question? question? Oh, how do you open a barbershop? The steps? Well, this is the thing. I was kind of like Vlad. I didn't really have money, but it was just kind of like, you just separate everything. Like me and the wife, we do like envelopes. It's super old school. But in barbering, we have a lot of cash deals, right? And so, you have 100 envelopes and you label it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, all the way down to 200. And every day when you get cash, you just put it in, you just fill up these envelopes. And then in 90 days or in 100 days, because it's 100 envelopes, it's about 10 G's. And so just chipping away every single day. And every single time we would make money off haircuts or whatever, you just keep saving. And I just knew like, okay, to open up a barbershop, average-ish is 100,000 give or take. So I was like, well, I mean, they don't need the full 100 up front. I already had these barber chairs in my garage. Remember when I was cutting in the garage? I had, some barber equipment already in my garage. So I says, hey, if I could just get in and I can just put like the first, last, and just get in, I could figure out everything along the way. So I didn't really have a set plan coming in. We just kind of, hey, just give me the deal and we'll work it out as we go along.
That's how it is, right? You just gotta freaking do it. It's like this event with a shitty mic.
Just gotta roll with it. So you didn't have to get a business loan. You just went to a cash. How much cash?
We'll do the 100 envelope challenge. I dare you. Go $100 and see how hard.
Let me talk before the white beat takes over here. The envelope challenge helped, I'm not gonna lie. Because if you think about it, if you do 100 envelopes, it's about 10 grand in 100 days. Obviously, the first maybe 25 envelopes, because it's only like $2, $4, $6, you could do that in like a couple days, right? So really, it's more like 90 days, it's 10 grand. So you do that for a whole year, every quarter, that's 40 G's cash. So that's some good like ammo to get started to open up your first shop. But really it's just really about just running, because it's not just me. We have 3 shops. There's no way in hell I could be at all 3 shops every single day. It's just not possible. So we have to leverage through the leadership that we have. Like a handful of my clients became barbers actually. During the pandemic, Johnny knows, a really good friend, a mutual friend of ours, James, he got furloughed during the pandemic. He said, hey, I want to go to barber school, became a barber, he's killing it now. So things like that, just, breeding the right leadership to where, the businesses run on autopilot. And so that was my whole goal from the gate.
Yeah, let me see if I can ask it. Maybe I ask it a little bit better. If I were going to start a barbershop, what would my step what would they require of me to get into it?
Yeah, really, I mean, obviously capital, but in order to open up a barbershop, you need a master barber. So do you have to be a barber to open up a shop? No, you just need a master barber on paper, to hang their license in the shop for you to open the shop, if that makes sense. So you need a master barber, obviously capital, I would say around 100 to get started, and just the right location to build it out.
As far as COVID in 2020, how did you guys survive COVID? Or like 2020 in general?
Oh, how did we survive? Man, I didn't know. So when we got shut down in March of 2020, we had no idea what we were gonna do, because we, barbers and everyone in the beauty industry, you probably know, we were all shut down. So we couldn't work in our barbershops, at that time. So I was like, well, COVID, is a 97%, not like 97% survival rate. So I was like, shoot, I mean, that's pretty good rates. That's a pretty good ratio. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna epoxy my garage floors, and a handful of these guys know, epoxy my garage floors. I set up basically a barber studio in my garage, because I had a handful of police officers who they have to have a haircut, right? Because they're essential workers. Medical field, construction workers. I mean, there's still a ton of essential workers who still needed a cut. So I stayed open. I opened shop, and actually I was even busier during the pandemic than I am now, to be 100. So I took a risk and just stayed open.
So how did you market to them? Were you sitting doing ads, social media? Like, what was that like?
D, all of the above. I was doing everything. Like seriously, I mean, it was kind of easy because no one really was cutting at that time. There's probably a handful of people in Vegas cutting because everyone was scared. You know, so scared money don't make money. So I'm like, hey, I'm cutting, and it's word of mouth. Actually, it's funny because I have a handful of police officers who who are my clients. They didn't arrest me, actually. It's funny, actually, every single time they come to my house, they're like, hey, no one snitched on you yet, right? I'm like, no, they didn't. But there's actually a Metro Police Facebook classified ads group on Facebook, and they just put my info on there and just say, hey, this guy's cutting right now from his garage, hit him up, and, and get fresh, and get clean.
Do you guys have any questions for Bobby from the audience? Any questions? One? I'm gonna be on the spot. Question? Okay, here you go. Come up. Yeah, I got.
I need a haircut. Where's your shops at?
Yes, great question. So we have 3 locations. One on Silverado and Eastern, where the Nike outlet is, and the Target shopping center. Pretty close, like 10 minutes from here. And then Meadows Mall on the 2nd floor, so we're on the west side in Meadows Mall. Then we just opened a month and a half ago in Inspirado, so on Raiders Way and Volunteer. So literally right there. And then whoever needs a haircut, you can go on theblendedcraft.com, click on the location that's closest to you, and set up your appointment.
Hello, bro.
Hey, bro, we've been friends for a long time, but I always got to know, man, how do you manage your family time and work?
Oh, great question.
You want to answer?
Oh, great question.
So that's a work in progress. That's a lot of people ask me about the work-life balance, and if you're a hustler, if you're a grinder, I mean, there's no balance. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. If you have like a job, like a 9 to 5, that's easier to balance because it's set schedule, right? But if you're an entrepreneur, it's kind of like you kind of have to make time. So basically, when I get home, I try my best. Wifey's looking at me crazy, but I try my best not to answer or text back clients or other some of my employees at the shop. So I really just try to separate the little time I have with the wifey and kids. And we take a lot of vacations. So do that. Take a lot of vacations where it forces me not to talk to clients and my employees.
Is that a good answer, Juliet? We'll have you next time, okay? Any more questions, guys? For Bobby? Go ahead, bro.
All right, my question is, you mentioned making the business autopilot. What is the most effective way of doing that for any type of business?
Wow, that's a great question. And well, especially in barbering, because that's my field now, right? So really just having the systems in place. So we have an online booking system to where clients don't have to text back and forth with their specific barber to say, hey, when are you available? Are you available tomorrow? How about 12, 2, or 3? They can just literally go online, book an appointment, and come in and get their services done. But really, it's all success, in my opinion, rises and falls on leadership. So by training the right people on your team allows you to step away to have it running by itself. So out of all 3 of our locations, I have two managers per location, to where if I were to go on vacation, it'll run with or without me.
Can I ask a little bit about the finances? Is that okay? So when you plan your business and you're thinking about rates, what to charge, how much you need to make, what's the overhead, what's that like? What's the profit like when you're trying to hit profit margin per cut? How's that?
So there's really 2 I'm just the owner and I didn't cut, you know, because obviously I'm a barber, so whatever I make, I just keep. But really, there's really two ways to cash flow it. One is through booth rental, where your barbers pay every week a certain rate every week, which is cool. Then the more profitable way is through commission. So off every cut that goes through the door, the shop makes a certain percentage.
One last question from the audience. Who wants to ask?
Two more.
How do you keep track of all the cuts that are coming in?
So we use a booking business software called Squire, SQUIRE. So Squire is our online booking system, but it also shows everyone who's booked online, and it shows all the analytics that shows when they book an appointment. Yeah, walk-ins. So I have my managers keep track of that for us as well. So, you know, so they report to me every day to say, hey, there was like 10, 15 walk-ins, and who got the walk-ins. And then actually, when they become a walk-in, we still put them in our system. So if Louis were to come into the shop and I put you into our, like, you're a walk-in, but when you leave, I'm already booking your next appointment, and now he becomes a walk-in to a lead, and that's how we're able to track the profits.
Last question from Chris.
All right, bro. Last one, I swear. But 3 barbershops, 2 years, you know, it's big time, right? The sky's the limit. What is the bigger picture? What is your main goal for this? And where do you see yourself being in like 5 years? What's going to be the thing that takes you from being, being in the barber chair to just managing and just doing that?
Good question.
I mean, I love barbering. I'll always still cut. Maybe not as crazy as I'm cutting now. 5 to 6 to 7 days a week, but not even 5 years. A year from now, I want to be fully automated. I want to be fully passive. And obviously, with the income that we make through barbering, I want to use the money, as a vehicle, right, to invest into other things. That's why I partnered up with Louis and Veronique, we do tour on the side, and, just basically investing in different businesses to where it's passive and it runs on autopilot. So I would say in about a year or two, me and the wifey and the whole family, we can just step away and make money while we sleep. So I would say like 2 years.
Awesome, Bobby. Can we give Bobby a clap, please? Woo! All right. Last but not least, we have Jane. Jane is a celebrity brow artist, very humble, but she is a big-time player here in Vegas, right, Jane? I saw her come up in 2 years. I know you were really working hard, and then the next thing I know, you booking the celebrities. And you also have 20 students, right? 20 students? Awesome. So my first question to you is, how did you get started with your business?
Alright, so I did it kind of oh, hi, by the way. I'm Jane. But I kind of did it the getaway too. I actually started at my house. During that time, though, clearly it was during COVID, and when I got started, I got a certain amount of money during that time, and I kind of lost my job at that moment, and my mom passed away, and at this point, I was just kind of thinking, what should I do to invest in myself? The biggest advice, honestly, that I can give is find something that you're good at and keep doing it until you're the best at it. Only because I never knew, I had a question earlier from someone today. They asked me, oh, are you artistic because you do brows or things like that? I'm not artistic at all. I just decided to sell what I was good at, and I kept putting a lot of experience into it. Started at my house, messaging a lot of people, and it's actually a lot similar with cold calls, because at that time when I was starting at my house, not a lot of people would trust you tattooing their face, and especially women. So during that time, I just messaged a a bunch of people. If I was messaging around 2 to 3 people a day, most likely I wouldn't get any responses, right? But during that time on Instagram, Facebook, things like that, I was messaging around 50 to 100 people a day. And usually 1 to 2 people would reply back and they would be interested, right? Not even just that though, I was joining different Facebook groups during that time, and I was joining different girl groups, and I was finding clientele that I wanted to take, mainly women that needed eyebrows. And so during that time, it was a lot easier for me to just message a bunch of people because everyone was home during COVID.
I love that. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? As far as like getting paid. So that leads me to my next question. Like, how did you become a celebrity brow artist?
So it's so embarrassing, but the thing is, honestly, I have a specific type of client that I like on my page. And the only thing is that the amount that you charge is what you want to show onto your page, right? So during that time when I was messaging different women, I was messaging women that had kind of like issues on like TMZ or reality TV during that time because they were being discussed over social media. So I messaged a girl that was on Jersey Shore. I messaged a girl that was really famous on YouTube. I messaged another girl that was actually, she's like a naked PGA Tour announcer. But the thing is that I was messaging specific women that were topics. And so because at the end of the day, I knew that someone would say, oh my God, she got her brows done by da-da-da. And so usually, one of my clients actually ended up on TMZ, and I took her mugshot and I posted it on my Instagram, and I got a lot of messages like that. So the thing is that honestly, at the end of the day, I just wanted to be a hot topic.
Very smart. Wow.
So we were talking earlier, and you said people can't book with you. If they want to book with you, they have to wait 2 or 3 months, right? And I think your prices are around $700. So when you first started, I think you said you were charging around $100. Like, at what point, like, what happened? What made you blow up to where you could charge from $100 to now like $700? Like, what happened where you went like this?
So the biggest thing is that you understand the value of your own work. And so the thing is, during that time, I was charging around like $100, $200, $300, but I was working for like 5 hours per client. I was putting a lot of work and a lot of care into what I was doing at that time. But over time, you kind of start realizing the value that you're putting in there. I'm working much faster. I'm giving people what they actually want. I'm making people feel beautiful, sexy, whatever it could be, right? So now, within 2 hours, I can make $700. So the thing is that right now, I'm kind of only accepting specific clients, and that's only because the touch-up prices and like the actual brow appointment prices, they range pretty high. I'm actually not on the most expensive side. There's other women in this industry that's charging $1,200, $1,500 just for one session with them. And so for me, I only have like under 20K followers, and I've only been doing this 2 years, and I'm charging per client $700 to $800, and I'm starting my hours at 1 p.m. and I leave around 5 p.m. and I'm just doing whatever I want to do. So at the end of the day, it's really what work you're putting out there, what effort you're putting out there, and that's how much I'm charging. So if I know that I'm doing something that other women aren't offering, then I'm allowed to keep bumping my prices up. And do women pay for that? Yeah. And do they wait 2 to 3 months to come into my office? Yeah. And that's only because I understand that I'm offering what other people aren't.
Love that. You guys have any questions for Jay in the audience?
So, you're booked 2 to 3 months out. For a lot of people that are trying to book you sooner, are you planning to come up with a website or any way of booking people sooner? I know you have students that you're training and you're learning from the best, are you going to expand that?
Good question, bro.
So actually, I do use a booking website as well, but I actually turned off having people booking for themselves only because I only allow myself to be booked out 3 months. And the reason for that is because, but also, I do charge extra on my days off. So even though I charge $700 to $800 per client, if a client messages me and wants to get in any sooner, I charge $200 extra. And do they come? Yeah. So sometimes I work on the weekends. But for now, because I'm only 28 and I still want to enjoy my life and I want to have fun with my money, I honestly only want to be booked a certain amount of months, and I want to pause on taking too many clients at once. And also, it is just me. Right now, I am accepting students and apprentices, but to work under me, I'm really picky and I just want the right type of person to be there. And just like how with you choose a specific type of person, just like with me, I'm very picky with my clients and I'm very picky with my students, but it's just because with the hard work that you get there, I just want that brand name for myself.
So you're taking 200, you have like 200 students right now, right?
Yeah, So I've had over 200 students, and the thing is though, they're only with me for 1 to 2 days. So if you guys ever need to apprentice, then you're with me for 6 months. But the apprenticeship, I only allow 3 to 4 people with me during those 6 months. And the thing is that if you ever want to start in the industry, I'm going to be honest with you guys, the beauty industry isn't just for women. There are so many men that's in the industry, and it works so well because these cute, good-looking men really know how to work these women, and they get popular really fast. If you ever heard of Brow Daddy, he's gay, and these girls just love watching his face, like, because he is so handsome. So it works out. Have I had men students? Yes, because it's not a girl's industry. If you feel like actually putting in work, if you can draw a straight line, you can do what I do. Because I don't know how to draw a circle, but I can put an eyebrow on a girl and I know how to sweet talk her. So clearly, it really depends on what you're doing in my industry that really works out for you.
I need to look into that. I want to be a next Brow Daddy. Question? You guys have questions, guys? For the audience? Any questions for Jane? There you go.
Not only just for you, but kind of for everybody else. You know, I'm new to the grind and stuff like that. I'm still getting into it. You know, what do you guys do to keep yourself like, you know, disciplined, keep the grind going, you know, keep that motivation going? You know, even when you're not getting the results, what is it that gets you guys to the end of the day and makes you guys want to, you know, just keep going? You know?
I'm going to be honest, I grew up as like a very poor welfare child. I wasn't going to be broke. And also, during that time of COVID, when I was fired, they asked me to come back. And during that time, I had to drop my pride and actually come back. So during that time, I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to let somebody tell me to leave and then come back whenever they want just because I needed money. So during that time, I just did a class and I was making 100, 200, and actually I did the same thing. I kept a safe, and every time I was making around $200 to $300, I would take 100 for myself, but that 200, 300 per client, I was putting it away in a safe. And then over time, it accumulated so much to the point where I started buying supplies. I started buying supplies for my students. I started making classes, investing in more like online stuff, investing more in my social media. So it does help that you don't want to be broke.
For me, I haven't talked to them, so I'm just chilling here. But for me, I think the purpose has to be bigger than like what you're feeling in the moment. I think that's always, you know, the thing that I try to go with, because if you're thinking long term and you're like, this is what I want for myself and I'm not going to settle for anything less, if something's not going well, or you're just not seeing the results right now, that's exactly what it is. You're just not seeing it right now, and a lot of people they'll just quit. They'll just get discouraged, or they're like, it's really not going well, so I'm just gonna take some time off, and then I'll see it through later. But in order to push through, you've got to see it through every single day and realize that, hey, I'm doing this for a deeper purpose, and I've got long-term plans for this.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback on Vlad, it's what's your reason why you're doing what you're doing? And a mentor taught me years ago why, WHY, what's hurting you, right? So what's hurting you? So my motivation is the wifey right there, and then the 6 kids that we have. So we have a lot of reasons why we gotta wake up every day and do what we do, right? But the main thing is, if your why is so big, the how-to doesn't matter, right? If your why is so big, that's the wifey. If your why is big, the excuses doesn't matter, right? Because you'll do whatever it takes to get the job done or to grow the brand. You'll do whatever it takes because your why is unbreakable.
Is that a good answer, Juliet?
I was saying, I said, you better answer my
You're gonna be
Okay, get yourself a crazy wife like this. A crazy, to keep you on your toes. I'm just saying.
Accountability, right? So, I guess for me, I got 3 kids, guys, so I gotta work. This is how it is, right? So.
Why is that weird to you? It's not gonna work.
Right.
Your why has to be weird to you for it to work.
Stop giving her drinks. Cut her off. Cut her off. Cheers.
Right. So yeah, yeah, for me personally, I got 3 kids. Bobby has 6, I got 3. I gotta feed them. My wife's right there too. She's my big why. And yeah, just gotta work hard, bro, and love what you do. Enjoy the process. It takes time. You're gonna be beat up, honestly. It seems like we're all doing good, but honestly, we're all beat up too, right, guys? So honestly, we're all beat up, but we keep going, and that's all you can do, right? So, and it also helps to have a supportive wife like Brittany. So,
brownie points. Get some tonight. Man, I'm glad you asked that question, dude. I ain't gonna lie. Some days it's hard. There's some days you wake up and you're just like, I don't feel like doing this, man. And I think you just think about, for me, the fear, the worst thing that can happen to most entrepreneurs is have to go back to that job. I ain't doing that. So just the fear in that, that's the risk for entrepreneurs is working at W2. Because when you work for yourself, man, there's no limit on how much money you can make. There's no limit on how much impact you make. And I think we all say the same thing. We think outside of us. The more money I make, the more we can give. The more we can help others. The more we can elevate. The more we can do more. So on those days where I don't feel like making offers, I don't feel like doing this, we do it anyway. The discipline of the day-to-day grind is just that. We just do it even when we don't feel like it. I think people who fail, they just kind of just don't. So if you just get that discipline of, no matter what, I have to do all the things that are required for my day, do those, and then you may have a half a day. Some days you might take a week. Some weeks you might take a week off just to recharge. Sometimes you might need a little bit longer. You might just sit in front of the PlayStation for 2 or 3 weeks, let it all out, and then get right back on it. Recharge.
So I would say, be okay with failing, especially in the beginning, and even when look at our other mic broke right before the event, you know, and we've never done this, but we're still doing it. And I think it's okay if you fail. You just keep going and you keep wanting to get better and better. Keep learning how to get better and better. Don't quit. That's basically what I would say.
And back to Jade again, sorry. Any more questions for Jade before she goes? Who wants to be a real daddy?
Thank you, Jane.
Any more questions for Jade? So give her, can you clap for Jade, please?
So we're gonna, any other questions? Good, right? You guys want any more questions, or you guys good? All right, guys, so thank you again for coming tonight. Another round of applause for our great speakers and just coming out here tonight and being vulnerable and sharing their stories with us. Thank you to our two hosts, Louis and Ron, for setting this all up. And yeah, so thank you. And thank you to all of you for coming. We're going to keep doing these. I think we're going to try to do it like every 2 months or so. But thank you guys for supporting us, and have a good night networking.
We're good at your mics.